Okay, number 3, we want to find the domain of this function. And so since we have a fraction, we have to focus on what makes the denominator 0. So one of two things you can do. You can factor the denominator and then set it equal to 0, or you can set it equal to 0 and then solve it that way. I'll try to show you both. So x squared minus 16. Okay, so we focus on the bottom. We can't divide by 0, so I need to find out what makes the denominator 0. Set it not equal to 0. So I'm going to do it two ways. Just depends on what you see. All right, one is you can factor, and this is a difference of squares if you're familiar. This will factor to x plus 4 and x minus 4. And if you set both of these terms equal to 0, x plus 4, or not equal to 0 rather, x minus 4, you will get x cannot be negative 4 and x cannot be positive 4. So these two numbers will not be in your domain. If you didn't recognize that this factors, you can just add the 16. So x squared cannot be 16, and if you take the square root of both sides, you get that x cannot be positive or negative 4. So you still get the same two numbers. So in this case, we would remove positive and negative 4 from our domain. So our domain, this says the set of all x such that x is less than something and not equal to. So our x's are not strictly less than. We just have everything except for these two. This one has the same scenario, except x is greater than some point and not equal to. This one says our domain is, and it's like a set of numbers. Like if it was just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whole numbers, we could list them all. We cannot list all of the real number line except for these two. So D would be the best way to say that our domain such that x is a set of x values where x is not equal to. So it only removes the one x is not equal to. So we'll say negative 4, comma 4. And you can also do the plus or minus and just say plus or minus 4 here. Okay, number 4. So this is one that if you watch the first video over the overview, this is a decomposition, or we're taking a composition of function that has been put together. So up until this point, we haven't even put together a composition, but they want you to take it apart. And this question wants basically to know which one of these cannot be used as functions of f and g. So they give you options to plug in. We want to know which one is not equal to. So let's talk about this. So f of g of x, what does that mean? That means we take the f equation and we plug in the g equation. Okay, so I'm going to take the two equations that they give me and I'm going to write it like this and see if it's equal to h of x, where h of x is equal to the square root of 49 minus 25x squared. Okay, so if we have f being the square root, so option A, 49 minus x, this is f, and then g is 25x squared. So if I was to take this whole equation and plug it in for x, would it equal this? Well, let's see. So I would start out with this one, square root of 49 minus, and then instead of x, I'm going to replace it with the 25x squared. So this matches that, so A can be used. It is not one of the ones that is incorrect. So if we look at B, we have the square root of 49 minus x squared. And then we have g as 25x. Okay, so again, I'm going to replace this with every x. I'm going to plug this in here. So what that means, we would have square root, and please excuse my sloppy notation, I'm just writing it down to kind of give you an idea. 49 minus, in parentheses, it would be 25x squared. Now, what does this mean? That means you're going to square the x and square the 25. So be careful here. If you square 25, you get 625. So this one would equal square root 49 minus 625x squared. This one does not match this. So B, we cannot use B. You got to be careful with what that notation means. Okay, if we look at C, and I'm just going to kind of point it out and talk you through it, we would take this x squared and replace just x. So that would be 49 minus 25x squared. It matches. And then this one, we would replace x with this whole thing. So if I replace x with 49 minus 25x squared, this also would match this. So option B is the one that would not match. And see, we have 3 different equations that actually work. So there's multiple, there's even more than that we could probably come up with.